Hey there. So today, after a little bit of frustration, I am going to just do a short one, a little bit out of sequence. I was working on, I'd set up the dialogues, I had preemptively set up to implement a quest with the dialogues, and that's what I was going to do today. Well, it turns out that every time I go to fight the spider creature that we needed to complete the quest, RGPtools would crash on me. So I sent a bug report off to the developer. I posted it on the Discord and everything. But it leads me now to do something a little bit different because I still want to put something out there for tutorials. And I thought what I would do is show a technique that I'm using to get a little bit more realistic water happening in a project. So I'm just going to switch over to screen capture now. And what I'm going to do is just show you what I've done here. So I've set up my file structure so that my assets sit in different folders in the assets folder. And I have one here called fluids that's all my water textures and stuff. And I just copy it between projects as I need it. So what I've done today is I've actually just copied the base fluids so you can see what they're like. But then I've made these other ones, which are exact duplicates, there's nothing special about them, of water tile number 3. So I've got water tile number 3, which is the normal one that you use for whatever you want to use. But then I have this 3E, 3N, and 3W. That stands for coming from the east, coming from the north, coming from the west, because you would just set this one to come from the south. So that being said, we're going to fire up RGPtools. And we've got nothing going on here. I'm just going to hit run right away. So all you can see here, character spawns in. This is just a blank character with the example project assets loaded. I am not working in my game project because it was crashing, and I wanted to avoid that. It didn't seem to crash in the example project, so it might be something I've done. I don't know. But anyway, I just want to show you where that's coming from. And so now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to find a little bit of a ground tile here. We'll just make it kind of a cracked desert, sandy beach sort of thing. I'm just going to fill this all in. And then just make a little bit of an outcrop here, so that you can kind of see we've got a bit of a beach going on here. And then I'll bring that one over too. All right, there we go. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find my fluids here. Water tile 3. And I'm just going to paint this one in here. Just without any animation or anything going on. I'm not sure where I got to, but we'll just come back over here. Somehow got all the way down to the bottom, I think. There we go, yeah. And then bring that like that, kind of. There we go. So nothing going on. Now we're just going to hit play. And you can see there's no motion or nothing. The water's static. We haven't done anything fancy. And we just got this little island outcrop. Oh, I got to do a bit of painting there. Just a little bit of a beach going on. That's all we really wanted to do. Okay, so now obviously what we want to do is I want to see if my files showed up. Not seeing them, so file, we're going to save that as it is. Save it. Oh, I gotta name it, sorry. C test. Save. Okay, file, exit out. So now what I want to do is just open a new tab, go into my documents folder, RGPtools, RGP4, assets, fluids. They're there. Paste. All right. All right, now let's just scroll down here. It should automatically find those. There they are. So we've got tile 3, tile 5, etc., etc., etc. Water tile 3. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go to normal water tile 3. We're going to change the settings here. And what we're going to do is we're going to just set this to, we don't want any horizontal movement. We want just vertical movement. I'm going to set it to 7. Okay. So now, you can see we got just a little bit of ocean action happening here. Looks pretty good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we want to fix that because as you can see with the ocean action happening, it's all coming from one direction. So it's all coming from the south towards the north. And so it's all hitting the land in the same direction. But you've got this peninsula sitting here, this little land mass. Here, we're gonna do a little bit of a, I'm gonna shrink this brush down. Where are we here? Shape, circle. Everybody's gonna shrink it down to a 1. And we're just going to come out a little bit more with it. Give ourselves a little bit of a gravelly beach. A little bit of a transition onto that drier beach there. There we go. My puppies just came in to see me. Hi, Jenny. How are you doing, honey? Good girl. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to come down to the east one. And so what we want to do is from the east, instead of coming in at 7, I think we're going to come in at 7 that way. But then we want to come in here at -7. That's the wrong way. So horizontally, we want to come in actually at 7. And then you can see that it's flowing in that way. So now what we want to do, put 1 there, put 1 there, put 1 there, put 1 there. Okay, then what we want to do is we want to come down to the west one. And we want to come in on this one at 7. And on this one at 7. -7. All right, so we're at -7. So we're going to hit that beach there, that beach there, and we're just gonna go here and there and there. Now you can see the waves are coming in that way there as well. So now when we run this, you can see that those waves over here are hitting the coast more from that angle. And they're left alone up here. I didn't mess with them up there. But they're hitting the coast more from that angle there. And when they hit the coast over here, they're coming straight in because that's more of a straight. And they keep coming in at an angle right to there. But then here, they come in straight. Over here, they come in from the left, from the west. And then as I go over this way, they straighten out again. So I'm going to just demonstrate that further by clicking on the, we'll go to that ground, come over this way more. And we just fill that in there. There we go. And then that straightens out there as we go. We want water tile 3 without any other change. And then there. That'll work. Gravel here. There we go. So now we got a pretty good beach. Let's check that out. So I'll see there, and then it comes in straight here again, and then as you come over here, it widens out. So that's pretty good. That's pretty realistic looking. So the other thing you can do, and now this one is more of a particular taste thing, but I'm going to go to a deeper color here, and on this color what we're going to do is we're not going to make that move at all. We're just going to make that move at a 5. Yeah, we'll go 7. No, I want to go 5. It's always a bit of a dance to see how the lineup's going to be. So now I'm going with just this other color in here. A little bit of a transition is what we're doing. There we go. So now what we've done is we've just kind of gone from this green type of sea into a blue sea, and you'd probably do that the other way around. Like it probably looks better if this was your coastline here, right? See, and then you've got the lighter color blue going into the darker kind of green. I kind of did that backwards there, but the other thing you can do is you can go into the darker. So if that was your coast, you'd use that, which looks pretty darn good. We'll just hit play here. And you can see that that actually looks pretty good as a transition from coastal into like a colder water out. So it's a little shallower, a little lighter color. But you can do it the opposite too, right? And of course you can add the different motions and things. It all depends how complicated you want to get. But the other thing is if you want to go into a deeper ocean, I don't know that I've got, I should have a much deeper blue here. Here, let me go file, save, file. exit, open this up, and documents, RGPtools. No. No. All right, wait, let's go here. Okay, this is what I want right here. Edit, copy. Back here. Oh, no. Documents, RGPtools, RGP4, assets, back tiles, RGP tiles, ground tiles, paste. There we go. All right. Close that off. RGPtools opens up again. Okay. So now what I want to do is find that. There it is, this thing. Right there. Bang. So we got the dark, deep water. All right. So now what I want to do is, of course, I want to do settings. And I'm just going to give that a 7, just like all the rest. And then what I'm going to do is just come to here and go. And we're just going to fill all that in. And a little bit here. We don't really want it too much of a... We just want that little bit of a transition difference. I'm getting rid of the lighter blue out of it because we don't want the lighter blue. We won't just want to go to the green. There we go. All right. Play. There we go. Character spawning. But there you can see. Stand over on the beach. I mean, it's not perfect. You'd have to play around with it. You might put a little bit of the lighter colors at the top, kind of blurring in more or whatever. I mean, this looks really good. It really looks like you've got your waves coming in from the right angles on the beach and stuff. Like that just looks good. And then this darker water, you'll want to play around with that a bit and see what works for you. It kind of looked better, the lighter water, I think, coming against the ground than going into this green. Might also look good with that lighter water going into this water from the beach. We'll just give that a little look and see, actually. We'll just go here. And then we'll just set this at this tip. I'm not bothering with the setting up the other ones and changing the angles on it. I just want to go and see how it looks going into the darker waters from the beach. Not too bad, actually. Like if you look at that, that's not like, that doesn't look horrible. Again, you'd want to play around with that. You probably want more, this. Coming out a bit more into it. A little more of this out here, maybe. Get a little bit of that one, just maybe. Yeah, probably. I don't know. You'd want to play around with that a bit. Might even just do a little bit of this, like that. Because then it kind of looks like it's breaking against the shoreline there and changing colors, right? It's all going to come down to how much time you want to put into making it work, right? Because you can see those come in. You might even want those a little faster. Let's go and... go to that one. Instead of 7, why don't we make it 9? And there you see it's moving just a little bit faster than this is here. So it's like it's braking a little more against the coast. But for the most part, most of this was about getting these angles set. It was just showing you some options you had to make like deep water harbors and stuff. So it was shallower. I still think that the combination of this color and this color look better than this color in either of these. I think this is just a bit too dark. So I'd play around with that. I'd probably have this at the coast and then these ones out just a little bit more because there's a little more white froth tip to it, and this one is a little more of more of a marine color out here. So, but again, that's purely artistic and what works for you. This was mostly about just showing you could use different water combinations, and you could also create multiple water tiles and change their angles. So you got this coming in from the east, this coming in from the west, and this coming in from the south. And of course, there's also a north one. But that's what this exercise was all about. So I hope that you figured out a neat little artistic technique and play around with it and come up with what works for you. And in the meantime, have a great day, and hopefully in the next one, I can actually show you the questing. So I may have to build a whole new project in order to do it. Maybe there's something wrong with my project. I don't know, but I did post it as a bug that it crashed on me when I was trying to do it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.